Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossing Swords. It's podding time.
Go poddy, pods.
Yeah, I'm Andrew.
We'll workshop it.
We will workshop
I'm
it.
excited for this new theme song.
Me too. Do you know what? That theme song slaps. Like, honestly, nothing got me more hyped as a kid than Go Go Power Rangers.
I feel like there were a number of just dope fucking theme songs, kids' TV theme songs when we were growing up.
Yeah, give me some more. Give me another one.
Pokemon, bang.
Oh,
The little...
I wanna be the very best.
For X-Men Evolution,
Oh,
bang, slaps.
Absolutely slaps.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
That
Turtles.
again, banger. What else was there? All the Power Rangers shows tended to
like
have
all
good
the iterations
themes.
were pretty good.
They all had a solid theme tune.
Yeah, agreed.
Right, well, pod done then, I guess.
Done, agreed.
That was what we were here to discuss.
Wasn't our childhood great?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Join us next week when we tell you why yours was shit.
I do feel like we had a golden age of like television when we were kids.
Yeah.
Like
A lot of them have stood the test of time as well.
Yeah, like I would still watch Pokemon now.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, I think it's still going.
Yeah, it's still on
Like
Netflix.
new
yeah,
episodes.
I think they've changed the voice though, or the character even. I think they're getting rid of Ash.
Shut up.
I think so. No, genuinely, I'm pretty sure I read
How
that.
is this not bigger news?
It was fairly big news, bro, but you're like off the socials. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm kind of out of the loop.
Apart
with a lot
from
of
Twitter,
things.
but you are off Twitter, but you're not off Twitter.
Yeah, I'm on and off. It's
Or
a
should I
love-hate
say
relationship.
X?
X. I was going to say it's on my list. It's
It
on my
wasn't
list.
on mine, but that popped into my head as we were discussing.
X-Force.
Twitter. I mean, we're still going to call it Twitter, aren't we?
But this is the thing. Like, I know people who call Snickers marathon bars,
Really?
and Snickers were like Snickers marathon bars, then Snickers again. I know people who call Starburst
Have they
Opal
ever
fruit.
been marathon bar
I know
in our
people-
lifetime?
I know people that refer to like, what was that soap that
The Fox on the
Brookside?
Pine and-
Like, there are so many things in our lifetimes that have gone through like rebrandings and name changes, but we don't respect those.
no.
It was just whatever it was when we were kind of growing up. That's what it is.
Yeah, it worked at the time.
Yeah, so it'll just always be that.
Have Snickers ever been known as marathon bar in our lifetime?
Not in our lifetime.
No, I didn't think so.
No, not in our lifetime.
No. We had Jif and Sif, wasn't it? They changed around.
Yeah, yes.
It used to be called Jif in this country, but apparently Europeans couldn't. That was one of the big Brexit things I remember early in my life about like leaving the EU, was because we had to keep changing the names.
Every
and stuff.
time you hear of a reason to leave the EU, it just slaps, doesn't
Like,
it? It's so good.
bananas are too straight.
I remember the banana thing. I remember the banana. That was good.
They were destroying our fishing industry.
Yeah, it turns out
looking
we were
good
doing
now.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's looking good now.
Turns out they were helping the fishing industry. Who'd have known it?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's like almost as if the EU wanted there to be benefits to being in there. Almost.
Very close.
Yeah.
But my God, man, yeah, it's not going to stick, is it?
No.
Twitter X.
No.
It just wasn't. I heard a rumour. I've no idea how accurate it is, but for the sake of this pod, I can say it. I heard a rumour that Elon originally, when he bought PayPal, because again, common misconception, he didn't start PayPal, he didn't fund PayPal, he actually jumped in on it as a startup.
one really blew my mind.
And
I
Tesla.
thought he founded Tesla.
A lot of people do, yeah, no, and even PayPal, but like he made his name PayPal,
Did
but
he
didn't.
found SpaceX
he
or did he get that from
Yeah.
someone else?
But apparently at PayPal, he wanted to change the name to X.com,
Okay.
and the employees like literally went on strike and were like, "That is
What's
fucking
the
happening."
X for then?
I don't know. He obviously just thinks it's cool. He's like, X guys, X is cool.
Do you know
X.
what though? I know everyone hates Elon. I know it's the thing now. Like he's an idiot and all of that. I sort of rate spending that level of money on something.
Just to fuck it.
Basically, yeah, and just do what he wants with it and be like, let's just see how this goes.
But it's such a. I mean, Twitter's become part of like the common cultural phenomenon.
I prefer it
We
to
say
any
tweet.
other social media platform.
I mean, especially during like Trump's reign,
yeah.
and I do call it a reign rather than a term in
Well, we
office.
could be headed back towards another
But,
reign of Trump.
You know, that was the era of tweet was probably said 50 times by every newsreader every day.
Yeah.
So the idea that Elon's going to come along, we're going to call it X's or whatever.
No, but that's obviously not going to happen. Is it?
No, 'cause
I
he's
don't think
thick as
he's going to
shit.
try and do that.
I will defiantly call it Twitter until
I would still call it Twitter, not out of defiance, just out of that's
what
it's
it
going to
is.
feel weird going, oh yeah, I was on X the other day, and that sounds like you would take. Do you reckon that's why he's done it? I was on X the other day. X is a common slang for ecstasy.
Maybe so we're all on.
It's just
Do
one
you know
big
what, though?
joke because he's sort of into
His
that.
bad humour is bad.
Oh, absolutely.
So that is the kind of joke
But
he'd enjoy.
again, I sort of rate because like every time he tweets something, like a meme or something, I go, he must know what's going to come.
He must know
for
that's
it,
not funny.
or he knows it's going to get a reaction. So he must be there for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, well, we're not going to call it X, are we?
No.
Also, you got to be very close 'cause if you mistype, suddenly you're on porn.
Yes.
Which, although if you go on
I wouldn't know anything
if
about
you go,
that.
if you go on Alex's Twitter, it is porn.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not hard to find illicit content on Twitter, is it?
God bless the internet.
Yeah, it's the one good thing it gave us: full access to porn.
Game changer.
Although it isn't like porn's not fashionable, is it?
Is it not?
Like society.
Are young people not into porn anymore?
Like, if you speak to people in the porn industry, they're all like, "We're underserved. You know, we need to be more socially accepted."
There's
But
one
the
group of
general
people you don't want to
public-
be underserviced.
It's the porn industry.
It's a porn performer.
I mean, and look, they are hard-working people. I think we've
Nice.
said it before.
Couldn't agree more.
You know, they put elbow grease into it. They're not afraid to put some spit in their hands.
They
and
get a rough time of it.
get to work. Yeah,
They graft. Long,
they do
hard
a
shifts.
lot of the dog work. Do you know what I mean? You know.
I think we're pretty much done now, aren't we?
Yeah, I can't think
Okay,
of
let's
any
go.
more.
Let's go.
All right, what else do you want to talk about, bro?
Well, can I start with sport? And you won't like this.
Okay, cricket.
Cricket.
Are you
Well,
going to talk
first
about
of
how
all,
God's robbed England, are you?
it's just so anticlimactic. It's so anticlimactic. So
Sorry, apologies for coughing into the mic.
it's a
I normally
5
lean
test.
away.
So for those that don't know, the Ashes is a best of 5. We play 5 tests.
Yeah.
Whoever's won them all
How
at the
long
end
does
of
the
it.
test last again?
5 days.
Oh, so it's 1 day a test.
No, 5 days are a test.
Oh, for
And we
fuck's
play 5 of them.
35 days.
25. Do your maths.
25. Bro, I failed maths twice. Should I put that in the clip?
You should have been doing the
35
scorecard. Yeah,
days.
35 days. Australia won the first 2.
Yeah.
We won the 3rd. This was the 4th, and we were dominant.
Yeah.
Like,
Bairstow.
it was-
Bairstow.
Bairstow got
He was banging
99.
it, weren't he?
Zach Crawley got 189. Apart from, and it's so funny, Ben Duckett went for 1,
Right.
but all the other, so he comes in at 2, so he's our
So
second
Duckett
batsman.
said, fuck it, really.
Duckett said fuck it because every other person, the one before him, and then the 5 after him,
Yeah.
all got at least 50,
Nice.
and it was just him that got 1.
So what
No.
were England on?
So Australia, we bowled Australia all out for like 260 or something.
Not bad.
We went in, scored 590. Then we put them back in. They were 160 behind.
Yeah.
We'd already taken 5 wickets, so we needed 5 more wickets. And they not only did they needed 160 runs to level us.
Yeah.
And then we'll go in again anyway and fucking get whatever
Dominate.
score we need to get, because they're not going to set a high score, 100 tops. But
Is that not a weird rule, though, that because of a bit of rain, they can't just reschedule the game?
it's the game, yeah, it's the game. It's just the way it's always
It just
been.
seems very odd
And
to
it's
me.
so ridiculous because now we needed to win all of the last Ashes. We needed
Yeah.
to win all 3.
So it would have been
So we were
edge
on
of your
track.
seat.
We won 1. We were on track to win this one.
5-day edge of your seat
And it would have
action.
meant the series was 2-2 going into the last one.
Yeah.
Excellent. Everything's up for grabs. And now it's not, because if it's in the event of a draw in the series, the holder retains the Ashes. So
'cause Australia
Australia
won it
are the
last time.
holders. They just automatically keep the Ashes. So we're playing for pride and we're playing for it, but we're not really. It's so
Yeah.
anticlimactic. The last test could have been so exciting.
Oh, so they've still got to play another test?
Yes, they still got to go and play
That
another
seem-
one.
That
We're now
seems
playing to draw the
really
series.
odd to me that you can still play the last game, but you can't pause and continue the 4th.
So we're going to go and try and play for a 2-2 draw.
The
But
moral I take from this story is that England are
It's cruel.
failures. They failed in the first 2 matches and they should be ashamed of themselves.
it's crawling. Do you know the
They
2?
shouldn't have let themselves get to that position, Jake. If there's one thing I know about cricket is you get the job done early and then you go
It's just
home.
not cricket, is it?
It's not cricket, bro.
And the 2 biggest
Bairstow should
sporting
hang his
events.
head in shame.
The 2 biggest sporting events of this weekend, or that weekend,
Yeah.
were both being played in the northwest of England, because over in Liverpool you had the Open, and the
Yeah.
heavens opened up there as well.
I just don't imagine Liverpool being a very cricket city.
I'll tell you what was great about the golf, though, is there were a lot of bad shots this year.
Okay. I saw one of a woman in a pond trying to hit a ball.
I mean, that's
away
good.
from
That's
the
not the
pond.
Open, but that's good.
Is that not the Open?
The Open, there
It
was
looked
there
like
was
a tournament.
there was one player,
I'd just assume any video of
Who-
someone playing golf is.
and I did like me, Ash, and I were kind of sharing the clips and stuff, and I was like, I needed a new set of clubs. This is me. So he's in the bunker. He's like, the wall of the bunker is so high he can't get anywhere close. So he chips it out to the side, and it rolls back round into the bunker just by his other foot.
Wasn't there one of someone getting hit in the face by the ball trying to?
Yeah, there's been a lot. It's been.
Or have
some,
I watched another?
no, but because of the bad conditions and
non-open?
stuff, there's been some great bad shots,
Yeah.
and it has been good fun. But also the women's World Cup has started.
I watched some of the first game of the
Tell you
World
what,
Cup.
Haiti gave us one hell of a game.
I was busy cooking bacon sandwiches as the game was on. It was on the iPad next to me.
Solid.
And Leanne was watching. And I was just sort of listening to the game. And I got to admit, I was like, halfway through the game, I had to double check who they were playing because I was like, Haiti? Really?
Yeah, they
So
gave us a
no,
hell of
well
a game.
done to them.
Do you know
and it was
what,
only
though?
a penalty.
What do you make of? Yeah, and we got to retake it because she was well off her line. She was well off her line, the goalie. What do you make of Mary Earps, the England goalkeeper, who's criticised Nike
Oh, what, for not
for
selling
not
the shirt?
selling the jersey? Now, fair enough, the England shirt's more or less the same. They're slightly, but the goalkeeper's jersey they're not selling.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
Personally, I mean, if they're selling the men's team goalie jersey, then yeah, they should be selling it.
And they are.
But I said to Leanne, like, who buys the goalie jersey? Do you know what I mean? But then I heard a female pundit say online that she's one of the most popular figures in women's football at the moment, so it doesn't make sense not to sell her jersey. So yeah, it's pretty shit.
Yeah, no, we support Mary Earps, I think, here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my sport
Get that bag, Mary.
done.
Sport done. Should we quickly just address something on pod? We've done a little bit of Palace recently on pod.
Sure.
It's a dark day for Crystal Palace fans.
It's bye-bye, Wilfred Zaha.
Bye-bye, baby.
Off
Baby
to
girl.
Turkey, yeah.
He's gone.
He's going to come back with some banging teeth, though.
New hairline.
New
Although
hair.
he's got a
no,
good
he's got a
hair.
good head of
He's got
hair.
good
He's
hair.
got a good head of hair.
Definitely new teeth. Maybe some new lips.
You know, he's of that age as well now, like, where
Big dick.
if it was starting, if his hair was going to go,
It's
it
the
would be
best place to
starting to go.
Yeah.
So he's in a good place, but he's got a good head of hair.
But yeah. So Zaha's gone.
Zaha's gone to Galatasaray.
Yeah. I still feel that's a bit of an odd move. I
Well,
get
he
it,
was
and I
on
was defending it this morning on Twitter.
It was
Um,
it was on the cards for him to go to Fenerbahce, and the Fenerbahce fans got really weird with it to the point where they were like sending almost threats to his wife
I
because the
feel
deal
like,
hadn't
though,
happened yet.
The Palace fans were like sort of riling that situation up though. Like the Palace fans were
Yeah, they probably
proper
weren't
digging
helping.
out. And like, look, Turkish fans are not known for their understanding and calm nature towards football.
No.
So when I heard that, part of me, and this isn't blaming the Palace fans because people shouldn't be threatening his family, but I was a bit like, we didn't help the situation, to be honest.
No,
But yeah, to then go and join Galatasaray, their biggest rival.
the interesting thing is, if reports are to be believed, is that he apparently was set to sign again for Palace, but wanted reassurances on the short-term ambitions of the club.
Yeah. So he wanted to know how much money they were going to be putting on.
He wanted to
players.
know what kind of football they were wanting to play and what kind of who they were looking to bring in. And if those reports are true, then he obviously wasn't satisfied. Hence
No.
why he's gone off elsewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't begrudge. He doesn't owe us anything. Look,
No, I mean,
he's given everything to us,
People have criticised the lack of a goodbye.
which he's done now. He's on Instagram. He did
No,
a
he
post.
has. But I think they were annoyed that he did the hello to Galatasaray before his goodbye to Palace. From what I've heard, it all happened very quickly. Like literally yesterday, he got the offer from Galatasaray.
And he was pretty much
and-
thrust into it by them. Yeah,
Yeah, so
off the plane and
I
into a
think
media
that plays
circus.
a part into it. As for the ambition stuff, I would rather.
Well, we've sort of done this, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've discussed this.
But no, he doesn't owe Palace anything. I think I said to you and Ash last night, he's earned his right to choose what his next move was, and he's obviously decided that's the best one for him.
I said, I think it was to
He's
you
gonna
guys.
win
I
a
said, he's
title.
going to go over there. He's going to play. He's going to be in a league that he's going to be very comfortable in.
Oh, he's going to bang in goals.
He's going to be very dominant. He's going to get assists and goals. He's going to get a bit of European football. Not a lot, because Galatasaray aren't going to go far, but he's going to get to play European football, something he hasn't been able to achieve so far in his career. And
No.
yeah, he'll probably win a few trophies.
Yeah.
Can't blame him
And
for
earn
it.
a decent whack while he's at it. And to be honest, part of me, like as sad as I find it, because I remember watching him in the Championship absolutely tear shit up, and it was amazing to watch. And I sort of feel for him.
Yeah, him and Balassi were just
I don't feel like
filth.
his career's quite gone the way
it could have.
And I don't think this would have been necessarily the end he would have had in mind either. But I think for Palace, on a financial point of view,
clearing his wages would be big.
Not him signing a 200 grand a week deal for 4 years at 30. I sort of feel relieved at the same time.
Give the money to Elise, Eza and Gahey, and build the fucking team around them. That is your spine.
Yeah.
Elise on the front row, Eza in the middle, Gahey at the back, and fucking build that team around them because they are your team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Excellent. Sport done.
Sport done. Right. Just Stop Oil.
Yes. Is that a request or did you want to talk about them?
Both. What did you think of them when they first started sort of appearing on the scene?
I got it.
Yeah. How do you feel about them now?
I'm still with them, especially when you look at what's happened in Rhodes this last week, where English people, because this is the thing, until it affects us, we're like,
we're
whatever.
fairly uninterested.
But, we're like, well, our weather's more or less the same. It's like English people were walking down the road, holding children, holding luggage, being evacuated from hotels because of these wildfires. And fair enough, there's reports that
it is
arson is the blame. But the reason it's out of control
is because of the heat.
It's because of the climate.
Apparently, it's not uncommon for them to get fires, though, in Greece during the summer.
No, but this is the thing. Usually their fire season starts around March.
Right, okay.
But because of all the change in the climate, they had a really heavy rainfall in March, so it's all pushed back.
Okay.
So it's now later in the year, it's now hotter in the year, and it's even harder to get them under control than it would have been.
The temperatures are higher than they've ever been as well.
Yeah.
So all of that exacerbates it.
So it's, for me, when I see that, and then over here, we've got the government sanctioning new oil drillings and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm with them.
Yeah.
I am with them. The only thing I would say, that video circulating of them not letting the woman through with her baby, I probably would have made an exception and been like, guys, let her through. It would have been like, look, if you're going to a medical appointment, let them through. Yeah. If they're just on business, tough shit, man. Your boss will get it. You're held up by protesters. Yeah. Who cares? You reclaim it in insurance or whatever. But
do you think it's having the effect?
Yeah,
they would like
having us talking about it.
Yeah, but we're talking about. But I don't hear any no actions being taken other than to try and stop protesting.
But when you think about all of the progressions that have been made over the years on women's rights, black rights, all things like that, they didn't come about through, there was there was disruption.
Yeah.
They fought for it. And there was a lot of, particularly in America, obviously in the civil rights movement, there was a lot of non-violent protests, but they were protests and they were disruptive. Yeah. That's how these things happen. That's how we get the conversation going. That's how it works.
Yeah.
And for me, we're having the conversation. All right, it's not going to be something that happens overnight, but it needs to be more prominent. And they're keeping it in the news every day, more or less. Yeah. And it needs to be. I mean, what do you make of them?
I think I would actually join them in a protest. I'm feeling more and more passionate about what's going on with the environment. I don't really know what we could do. My concern is, and it entered my head as you were sort of discussing the advances we've had in the black movement, rights for women, rights for the LGBTQ plus community. We make a change, but it doesn't, I don't know, there's still systemic racism in this country. Yeah. There's still all these issues.
Just because you fight and won a battle, it's not over.
No, I know, but I guess I just don't have a lot of faith that even if we sort of win the argument on the environment and we start making positive changes, it will even be enough.
No, but we've got to start, haven't we?
No, absolutely. And I think I'm sort of just in quite a nihilistic place with it all at the moment. I just don't have a lot of faith in our institutions or mechanisms of power that any real change can be affected.
No, and I'm sort of with you on that. But yeah,
we have to keep optimistic and hope. No, I tend to agree with you. We also had our first assault of a Just Stop Oil
Yeah.
protester recently as well. What was your opinion on that?
I don't fully understand the frustrations of, like, I do get for some of the self-employed people,
Yeah.
you know, you're not paid
If you're
unless
going
you're
job
working.
to job and you only get paid if you attend
And
the
I do
job.
kind of get that, but at the same time, you sort of just got to sit back and chill out and go, do you know what? This shit's
I
happening
can't
all over
control
the
this.
country. I can't control it. And, you know, maybe have a quick look into Google, because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Have a little Google, have a little telephone to your insurance company and your business cover, and see whether you're covered for that kind of thing. See
Yeah.
whether there's anything you can claim back for it. Because, like I said, you know, I don't fully. But even if you are a really angry person, it's never okay.
No.
Never okay. What do you make?
I mean, I think I said to you and Ash, like the position I fell down on was just that you have every right to be enraged by their choice of protest for whatever your reasons might be, but you have no right
To lay
to
hands.
assault them. And although this was the first proper assault we've seen a lot of these protesters be properly manhandled. They may not have been struck, but I would argue a lot
dragged
of
off
them
the
have been
road.
assaulted.
Some have been barged with cars, nudged with
If
cars.
I'd have been approached in the way some of these protesters have, I don't know if I'd have had the patience to just let
not
it
swing
happen.
back, yeah.
But I would certainly have felt I'd been assaulted with the way I've seen a lot. And some of them, it's like men manhandling women, and I just find it deeply uncomfortable. And I do get why people get upset about anything that inconveniences them, and
But
particularly
that's
at the
what
moment.
it is. It's an inconvenience, isn't
But
it?
I think it's just like a final straw. Like, we can sort of accept that, you know, life's shit because the government has made it so. We can't really change that at the moment until the next election. But what you can change is the fact that there's some, from your point of view, prick blocking your car 10 yards in front of you. So I can understand.
Age-old thing is anger in the wrong place.
Yeah. And I think for some people, definitely it's raising awareness of what's going on. But I think for a lot of people that are just at the real rough end of the world at the moment, just see it as another affront to them.
Yeah.
I wonder if they, like, I prefer it when they interrupt Wimbledon, or, you know,
Did you
spray
see-
a public building.
I loved them
or-
interrupting. I just happened to be watching it, and I was very pleased I was. But I loved when they interrupted the last leg.
Oh, did they?
It was great. It was
What, the
literally
show?
they just started, and then they came on, and they were, you know, eventually security come on and pull him off, and one of them sat down next to Adam Hills, and he's like, "Hi," he's like, "I'm William, and I'm doing this." And I he's like, "Hi, William," and they sort of dragged him away, and they were kind of joking about it. They were like, "Oh, security was looking over, going, oh, is this one of their shit unfunny skits?"
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not. Okay, let's fucking get them. But he was like, "They're really friendly. They're not." He says they're doing it for a good cause. He's like, if all protests were like this, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I think.
Josh Widdicombe probably had the best. I mean, he was really genuinely unsettled by it.
Oh, really?
But-
What did you think they were going to
Well,
do?
because they
though?
came out the side, he said, and we were taking the piss out of Putin last week, and he's like, fucking just got like, he's come for
So,
me.
no, that feels a bit
But
melodramatic,
he was,
doesn't it? He would just get poisoned at a local landmark.
Josh-
He wouldn't be
Josh-
killed on live
he
television.
probably had the best joke to it. He did sort of say, like, what's really offended me is it's a free ticket in here tonight,
Yeah.
and they didn't even wait to see if the first joke was funny.
They
They've just
interrupted
straight in and got
immediately.
themselves kicked out. They couldn't
To be
even be
honest
bothered
with
to
you,
wait for
though,
a
I
show.
sort of think that's the most respectful way to do it, because get it out of the way, they can then.
But it was handled in a really nice way. I
Yeah.
think Adam Hills and the team,
Well, I
did a really
think
good
because
job.
they probably agree with everything
Yeah.
they're saying,
They
so
get
they
it.
respect the
They
fact
do
they're
get it.
there. They've not been like. They've not come in and smashed
been
up
violent,
the
not
studio
been-
or anything, or defaced anything. They've just come on and gone.
they
We're
did
here.
throw some like orange stuff, but it just got swept off quite
yeah,
easily.
like confetti or something.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with them.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it enacts some sort of change. I just don't have a lot of faith that it will.
No,
But
me
I guess
neither.
all we can do is touch wood. Grab
Speaking
yourself,
of
Jake.
kind of other, trying to think, sort of a salty level things. Hit the button, my man.
What button?
The very quick change of pace button, the
Right.
segue buttons,
That button.
and that's perfect because did you see Gateshead versus was it Dunston?
Did a football car came on the pitch, didn't it?
Two cars, one of them was a hearse. In a pre-season friendly, it was 1-1 just before half time, and two cars, one of them being a hearse, drove on with allegedly with armed men in it, skidded around the pitch, claiming that someone at the club was a paedophile, before the ref abandoned the game, and everyone kind of got escorted out to safety.
Someone at your club's a paedophile. No, it didn't quite work, did it?
But honestly, God, I love the lower leagues and non-league. It's mental.
Yeah, I mean that's a new one. How
I don't know.
does a hearse get into a stadium?
I don't know where they got the hearse. Where did they got the hearse? I don't know.
Well, I guess if they were armed men, they potentially got it in an armed fashion.
Imagine if you were.
I mean, I wonder if the body was in the back.
Imagine if you were Gateshead, trying to persuade a player to come and sign for you, and then that happens. And you're like, okay, this is gonna.
Yeah, say like they'd invited him to that match, and they were like, "Just come along. It's a really nice family-friendly affair.
You'll love it. You'll see. You'll meet everyone at the
Guns
club.
going off on the pitch," and he's like, "I think I might go Turkey instead."
And one of you's a paedophile. Is that right?
Which one is it?
Brilliant though. I loved it. It was a proper, just mad story from start to finish. Every detail of it, you feel like doesn't belong there.
No.
But because it's so mad, it does belong there.
I sort of hoped it was just a rogue funeral procession, like the driver
just got out of hand.
had a heart attack or something and just foot down into the stadium. Was anyone hurt?
No.
Okay, that's good. So we can laugh at it. I feel like I should have asked that question earlier on.
You could have come in a lot sooner with that one.
But I got there eventually, and you never mentioned it. So
how do we know?
About you than it does me.
How do we know that it wasn't the deceased's dying wish that they do donuts on the football pitch against a football club?
Something like a Geordie would be into. Let's be honest.
I'd say it was on the pitch like do donuts.
Oh, that was decent.
Thanks.
Oh, eh?
It's in the spirit of the deceased.
Yeah. Do you want rippers?
Yeah, go on.
Wrong one.
No, play. You can't skip it. That's the rules. That's the law.
It's insensitive in so many ways. You can tell I don't update the soundboard very often.
What it feels like to me as well is that we're suggesting that this hearse driver is our king. Or the deceased.
What I was trying to do was
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
That's what he would have wanted.
Yeah. That goes out there for Trevor Francis as well.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Ex-Palace manager.
Rippers.
Well, wholehearted rippers to him and his. But yeah. Changing subject, Jake. We've had some by-elections.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. Do you want to talk about them? I presume you do, hence why you brought them up.
I did. I didn't just want to say by-elections to then not discuss them. So we had 3.
Yep.
Conservatives kept Ruislip, Boris's old constituency, by a very slim margin. And in fact, it was less votes than what the Greens got. So there's sort of an argument there that...
About tactical voting.
Yeah.
The thing is, can I just say my piece on this?
Yeah.
The Labour and the Labour supporters were all going after, you should have been tactically voting and whatever. You've gone after the wrong people.
Yeah.
Go after the pricks that didn't vote.
Yeah.
It was like a 43% turnout or something relatively low like that. It's like 60% of the borough didn't even fucking vote.
It's not exactly the most engaged.
Go and get 500 of them pricks in to vote. I mean, looking at the ones that went out and turned out and put their cross in the box for the Green Party or Liberal Democrats. Go get fucking one of them pricks.
Speaking of the Green Party, though, across the 3 constituencies, their vote share has increased by around about 10%, which is massive. I didn't realise is huge.
They're looking like becoming the third party at some point in the not so distant future.
Which I find really, really encouraging, actually, because they're the only party, well, hence the name, that have a position on what we're passionate about at the moment.
Yeah, climate change.
Yeah.
And environmental decency.
Yeah. Well, just let's not
destroy
the planet.
It was dropped. You know, they were like a good few thousand ahead before, and now it's like 400. And bearing in mind, Uxbridge and South Ruislip, or whatever it was.
South
Ruislip, whatever this constituency was, has never actually been held by. It's always been a conservative vote. But so to have it dropped so low.
A 20,000 majority when Boris last stood.
That is quite telling.
Well, it's massive. The swing,
and it's the only one they held on to.
The swing is about 23%, apparently, which if you get that as a general, the Conservatives will lose worse than we've seen in a long time.
I've said it before, though. We need proportional representation in the voting.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to happen.
No, it won't. Not with old right-wing Keir Starmer. Not Sir Keir Starmer.
We also got a new MP.
You're talking about Sir
Cell
Keir?
beating Ainsley, Sir Keir Jr.
Yeah, Keir Matter or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Everyone's dubbed him the next Keir Starmer.
Mm.
25 years old.
Joe, I saw an interesting thing that
He agreed with the
someone.
Child cap.
Yeah, well, he's going to, and he's just a newly elected MP. They just
I
parrot
would
the
have, no, but
party.
the thing is, if I was in his, I would have just been like, fuck you. Like, immediately just like, no, fuck you. Feed the children.
I mean, we should probably put like a novelty hit.
What?
Fuck you, feed the children. Yeah.
Feed the children. Let them know the Tories are scum again.
Feed the
Is that see, it works.
children. Give them meals from Parliament.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw a thing.
Fuck the
Tories. There's your tagline.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I think we make this Christmas #1, bro.
I think it can be.
We sit and record it. I mean, we've already got the music. We
I
just
mean,
need to finish
the
off
Canucks or whatever they are, they had a top hit
I
with
think
Boris
we
Johnson.
reach
It's
out to other podcasts as well and do like
a charitable podcast
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
together.
get them all together, get the band together.
I'm in.
I mean, I'm there.
Any chance for me to sing "Fuck the Tories"? I'm in.
Thing is, it might not get played on the radio.
Well, yeah, Boris Johnson is a cunt. Was a #1 hit. It went number
Was
one
it?
though, but they couldn't play it on the radio.
No,
Went up though, because a lot of people think Boris
maybe
Johnson
we
is a
could do a
cunt.
radio edit version where it's like "sod the Tories."
Yeah, we'll find another word.
Yeah. Screw the Tories.
But I saw a thing that said they blame a lot of radicalisation of the elderly
Right.
on daytime TV, and part of it was based on Jeremy Vine hosting a thing saying, I presume you've seen this. Then is 25 too young? Should we have age limits on MPs? And it's like, okay, but Churchill started when he was like 26,
Yeah.
something like that. Pitt the Younger was fucking prime minister at 26.
Also, one of the best MPs
Prime
we've
Minister.
had in a long time, Mari Black, or
20.
Mary Black. Sorry,
20.
She was 20 when she was elected.
She's been easily one of the best MPs
It's
of the last
officially
few
Mary
years.
Black. I saw her interviewed recently.
Mary
and
Black.
Mary. Is
Well,
it
she's-
like getting married?
She's been one of the best MPs fucking in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
It's utter horseshit. And
Yeah.
Jeremy Vine knows what he's doing. He's such a dick. He's made a career out
I
of that.
really don't like that program. My mum watches
I
it
hate
every
it.
day, and the
Anytime I've seen a clip, I'm like,
it's
what
the
a
caliber
wanker.
of people they have on it. They get the odd like lefty on, but in general, it's just quite nasty people.
Yeah, people filled with a lot of hate
Yeah,
and,
it just
divisive opinions.
yeah, and I'm like, I get why they're doing it. They want to get as many people to watch it as possible, but I just think it's not helpful. It doesn't help the discussion. It's not real debate either. And he's one of the worst moderators of a debate I've ever seen in my life as well. Any time a right winger decides to just scream over the top of a lefty, he just sits there he'll go, "Oh, come on, and just does nothing." So
Yeah. I always remember as well when he was on.
and he's a bit of a bike nonce, isn't he?
Oh, mate, him and the bikes are just like.
I
I
get-
swear to God, he's a parody.
Like, we get it.
He's not a real
Drivers
person.
are aggressive, but there's also a lot of shit cyclists out there. So
He's a wanker.
yeah.
Not a lot of love for Jeremy Vine. Tim Vine, lot of love. Jeremy Vine, not a lot of love.
Oh God, like Tim Vine
difference.
on Taskmaster,
Oh, he's so good.
like him when they were playing. I think it was Olive or No Olive. They had to pretend whether they had an olive in their mouth or not, and then Greg had to guess.
It's for me. It was when they got Tim Vine to go into the shop,
Oh,
make
the train
a suit.
stationery.
Yeah, make a suit and then guess the pun. And they
Yeah.
were all doing train stationery, like nailed it. And
Yeah.
he's like, no, it's a tracksuit. I'm like, fucking absolutely brilliant.
TV Gold.
What a great idea for a
TV Gold.
task. Yeah, it's great. So
Yeah.
it's like, give it to Tim. We know he'll
And
make
he's a
a
good
pun.
local egg to us. I believe he's a Sutton United fan.
Yeah, he's a Sutton boy, lives in Sutton, supports Sutton.
Does shows in their gaff, I believe, as
Yeah.
well.
No, he's a
So-
good lad.
No,
Tim,
we like
lot
Tim
of time.
Vine. A lot of time for Tim
Yeah, the
Vine.
other thing, Jeremy Vine always used to really annoy me.
I find him a bit weird though. Like I think I'd feel awkward if we podded with him. Do you know what I mean?
What, Tim Vine?
Yeah.
No, I think it'd be great.
Would you have Jeremy on the pod?
God, no.
Let's see. I would have some people on here that we don't.
Oh, no,
like.
it'd be interesting. Because it'd be like, why are you such a shit? What is wrong with your TV show?
Yeah. Is it just heavily produced and you're just being paid to just show up?
Yeah, you the
Or-
puppet or the puppet master?
Yeah.
But yeah, Jeremy Vine used to do this thing when he was presenting. When it was used to be him and Dermot Moynihan used to
Who's that?
split duties. He's another presenter. Used to split duties for Eggheads when it was on BBC.
Right. Okay.
Berwick Monahan, fine, no problems. Presented the show, great. Jeremy Vine would just be in awe at the fucking egghead. So he'd be like, you know...
Oh, you're so smart.
Yeah, he'd be like, Iron Man is a superhero for which of the following
Cinematic
companies? You know,
universes.
DC, Marvel, or Action, or whatever. And they'd be like, Marvel, and he'd be like, Marvel, how do you do it? How do they know it, eh? And it's like, Jeremy, it's really fucking common knowledge, mate. That's not a difficult question, all right? And these are the smartest...
And they're nerds.
These are the fucking most knowledgeable people on the planet. These are general quizzers. If they get an answer wrong in one quiz, you can guarantee they ain't never getting a shit question wrong on that topic again going forward. And he's always like, it's always the really simple questions. He'd be like, you know, what vegetable commonly is put together with leek to make a common soup? And he'd be like, you know, potato, green bean, and then they'd be like, that's potato, Jeremy. And he'd be like, potato. Again, they've done it again. They're so good. And it's like, Jeremy, mate, it's really fucking easy. Again, it just used to wind me up. Really wound me up.
I'm going to really shock you here. I've never watched Eggheads.
Oh, you don't have to.
No.
It's not the same now. It's on Channel 5. It's just not.
No, it's changed. It's disgusting.
I agree.
Especially since they got Jeremy Vine in.
He does it full time now as well.
Next it'll be Jeremy Clarkson and it will really go down.
Yeah, how did he get the gig at fucking Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah, it's quite incredible, isn't it? Is it still on the BBC?
Oh, ITV. Always been ITV.
Well, there's your answer.
It's always been ITV.
I thought it was BBC, you know.
From day one, my man.
All right. Well, that's why, because it's not on the BBC. That's how he got the job.
Yeah. Not been blackballed yet.
I was just helping you get to the bottom of it.
Works.
Yeah. Jeremy Clarkson's another reprehensible human being.
Shall we move on?
Please.
Right, first of all, let me have a little look to see. Are you aware of
how sexy I am?
This.
Have I got to read this?
Oh my God, is your eyesight that bad?
Oh, that. I thought you
There's
wanted me
Boris
to read
Johnson
from the top.
story.
This week.
Nadine Watch.
This week on Nadine Watch. Jake?
Still there. Yep, not retired yet.
No.
Not stepped down, not resigned, not retired.
There was actually a brilliant, and just a shout out to them in general, the Exploding Heads on Twitter.
Okay, yeah, they're so
and
good.
Their most recent one where Colin calls up and he's like, Nadine Dorries needs to be the next Prime Minister. She has resisted calls to resign, even from herself.
Yeah, that's such a good one.
She's so courageous.
Yeah, you were aware of this alleged...
And then he was like, I want Boris to be the puppet,
the puppet master with his hand.
I want his hand in her. Which we all know he's capable of.
But Boris Johnson, alleged film which reveals him admitting that he lied about nearly dying from COVID.
Of course he did. Like, everyone knew he didn't nearly die of COVID.
Yeah.
There's no way on God's green earth we'd have let Dominic Raab become Prime Minister for any length of time.
Well, some doctors and nurses were like ushered out, weren't they, before he was ushered in to the ward. No good. No, there is something I want. No, I messaged you in the week when you said, like, what should we talk about kind of thing. And I said, there's
like,
a story.
Was it the email?
And it's not the email.
By the way, anyone who wants to know what the email is, just put it into Twitter with an ex-Chancellor of the Exchequer's name.
Yeah, not mine. You will get a different
not
story.
Jake's,
you will get a different... and I just want you to know that
some good shit.
I was informed that was a fully consensual email. I was not aware at the time.
Did you send another dick pic out? We discussed this on the previous pod. It has to stop. Just like the racist rhetoric, the touching of children, it all has to stop.
Yeah, but the waiter smiled at me. How was I meant to know that they didn't want the dick pic off the back of that? To me, that just screams dick pic.
Did he look at your crotch?
Well, I thought when he was picking up the plate, a little side glance went down.
Then he was gagging for
and
it.
I thought,
I would have taken
this
that
man
as a
wants
sign.
a dick pic.
He gave you the side eye of the crotch.
So I went to his company. I said, what's his email address? They said, we can't give you that. I said, yes, you can.
How did you get it?
I said, I'm his brother. They said, okay, here it is.
Yeah, he ain't heavy. He's your brother.
He's quite heavy now. He's taken a lot of my money in the lawsuit.
I don't believe you. You don't let your money go anywhere.
Only when the courts tell me it has to.
So please tell me this. I think you said it was saucy. Was it a saucy
a bit
story?
saucy. Are you aware of the
How
story
saucy.
in the last week or so revolving around the 1975?
What, the band?
Mm.
No. Are they
That-
the ones where one of them died of cancer?
I mean, fuck me if they are. I don't know about it. And
There's one of the big boy groups that, like, the guy died of cancer.
no idea.
Oh, Leanne would be screaming at
Have
me.
you ever seen? Have you seen? By the way, there was.
Is it Matt Healy?
Yeah, Matt Healy.
Oh, I don't know if it is that band. Then I'm probably getting
Well,
mixed
there's
up.
a lot of controversy around Matt Healy.
Is that because he was
anyway.
banging Tay
He's a
Tay?
bit of a creep by all accounts. I mean, there's a video of him at a concert, and it's weird behaviour. But oddly, he's done nothing wrong technically.
Yeah.
But it's weird behaviour. He like gets a girl in the front row to get out her ID, checks her ID to check she's old enough, and then kisses her. It's weird behaviour, and it's creepy. Like technically, he's
There's
following rules.
There's a general rule for men that I think we should all follow. That is, if you have to ask how old, don't do it.
It was
Right.
weird. It was because I think he'd got in trouble before.
Would he ask them for the ID or like take their purse?
Yeah, he kind of he asked them. He thought, "Give me your ID. You know, where's your ID?" I think it's because before he'd got in trouble
Is
for
he
kissing a
singing
fan
while
who was
this is
underage.
happening?
Yes, it's like during the song.
What, he pauses a song or while the music's
You know, while the
playing,
music's
he's like,
playing. Yeah.
I want to see your ID. Yeah, just pass it. Thank you. Right, just look straight at me. Right, wicked. Yeah, you'll do.
Excellent. I mean, just like. He's into
What does
her.
Tay Tay see in him?
But they were playing a show.
Is this the guy that's always wearing a waistcoat on stage and
He
with like
might be.
Elvis hair?
Let's be fair. Like, since Gareth Southgate did it, it's pretty cool.
I
to
don't
wear a
know.
waistcoat.
I mean,
Waistcoats are cool.
Johnny Depp wears a waistcoat on stage,
But they were playing the Good Vibes Festival in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia.
as you do.
And Matt Healy went on a bit of a rant about their anti-LGBT laws.
Right.
So
While he
it's-
was out there.
On stage during the show
What to their people?
to the people, and he was like, "I know you guys." He's like, "It's not
You
you
all
guys."
make me sick.
He was like, "It's not your guys' fault. I'm sure a lot of you are gay."
Just go for young girls like I do.
And he was like, "Yes." He was like, "It's ridiculous that we're being asked." He was like, "We're big advocates of the." First, I think if you've got to say you're a big advocate, you're probably not a big advocate. I'm not trying to knock them, but you know what I mean.
No,
It's a
but
general
there's-
rule.
I find it difficult when we talk about a lot of sensitive stuff. I always feel like I need to qualify what I'm saying whilst I'm saying it or beforehand. So that can be an indicator of guilt, but I also feel uncomfortable with that.
But he went on this like massive rant. He was like, "Not your fault, but like it's ridiculous. They've asked us to come and play here, and you get 20 and potentially 20 years in prison just for being gay."
Sucking someone off.
So then during one of the songs, and I did look it up, and I can't remember the name of it. He just like started making out with the bass player Ross McDonald,
Yeah.
and then like 2 songs later or whatever, he had kind of.
Sucked him off.
No, they like full bent over, full penetration. That's what the people want.
No lube, just a bit of spit and
And then he came on and was like, "Right, we've been banned from the country. Sorry, guys, show's over." And then they left.
Well, they
and they
interrupted
were
the
like kicked out of the
performance.
show. Obviously, they'd got word to them on stage without actually coming
Oh,
on
right,
stage. But they
okay.
were like, "Right, fucking plug's gone, mate. You boys are coming in. You're getting
the
kicked
president's
straight
called,
out of the
you're
country."
gone.
And they were just supposedly taken to the airport and out.
Yeah.
What do you make of it all? Having just heard it now from me.
I hadn't heard about that. I
Sort of support it.
Yeah. Because it is right.
But why take the gig?
That, and also it's sort of difficult if you're willing to take these people's money, but you want to shame them for their beliefs. Because I would imagine in a country like Malaysia, it's going to be mainly down to religious reasons, isn't it? So you could argue it's misguided or indoctrination, all sorts of things. Doesn't make it right. It doesn't justify it.
I think if you're at a 1975 concert, you're probably either a woman or a gay, to be fair.
Yeah. But it feels weird to take their money and then
I mean, that's massive slander
not
on the...
only shame them, but
It's been a while since we've really slagged off a group of people, but I've just
the
massively gone after the
1975
fans of the
fans?
1975.
to
Well,
be
not the
honest,
women.
I never hear anything good about Matt Healy. There's never any like positive headlines. Like he did something weird at Glastonbury, I heard, like some weird speech or something. So
I like his mum and his dad.
I know nothing about his mum and dad. What have they done?
His mum's Denise Welsh. She's...
Oh, okay.
And his
That's
dad's...
his mum.
Yeah, and his dad's Tim Healy, the little
Who's-
Geordie bloke who's... Christ, what would you have seen? He's in that, like, Our Feed the Same Pet, obviously. Every Geordie actor was.
What's Our
Did
Feed
you ever
the
watch,
Same
like,
Pet?
Benidorm?
No.
No. What's he been in? He's
a
fun.
British actor.
He's cool, yeah. He's a British actor.
Right. Are they still together, Denise Welsh and...
No, I don't think they are.
Right, okay. Wow, what a random outcome from two actors.
Yeah. Two, like, they're both, like, really working class, down to earth as well. And Matt Healy is, like, definitely not what you would call...
creative type. Yeah.
He's exactly the product. And I don't mean this is going to sound slanderous.
Yeah.
But he's exactly the byproduct of two working class parents who have elevated themselves out of the working class.
He probably got to go to nice schools, meet nice people, exposed
without
to
ever having the struggles that his parents had.
No, so he's not quite got the grounding. But then that's probably meant why he's been able to reach a level of fame and success that they didn't.
Mm.
Because I think there's definitely something to working class people not feeling worthy of the success they could go for, or an inferiority complex perhaps.
Yeah, the imposter syndrome.
So I think there's a negative and positive. I mean, to be honest with you, more than the snocking his mate on stage, I mean, like I said, that feels slightly disrespectful, but I understand why he did it. More concerned about the getting girls, I find that more problematic, to be honest with you. The asking girls for their ID
weird
to
behaviour.
then
It
kiss
is
them
weird
mid-song.
behaviour.
The only thing that would have made it worse if he then got one of the security guards to take her to the back. Do you know what I mean? If he was like, yeah, this one will do. Just, here's her ID. You know,
Don't
just take a photo of it, like, just in case anything gets accused.
We've got your address.
I can find you. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty fucked. What do you think?
Like I said, yeah, Matt Healy cuts a controversial figure, but I do think on this issue I'm sort of with him, but I do find myself asking a lot of questions like, yeah, why would you take the gig?
Yeah.
Why would you, you knew you were going there and you knew you were going to give the people half a show because you knew you were going to get kicked out halfway through. So not entirely sure on it, but I do, in theory, on face value, support it.
Okay, that's fair.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Right, I wanted to try something slightly different.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you've got the lube, I'm happy to be your first and give you a little taste of this.
You definitely wouldn't be my first.
No, I know. I've seen the videos.
It wouldn't be my first time with you either. So when you're like, taste a bit of this, I've tasted it.
I just thought
I've tasted all of it, Jake.
The people didn't need to know that for the video. They could have just...
I think they've picked up on the sexual chemistry by now. After this many years.
Acting.
They know.
Acting.
I think it's just natural.
It's quite natural.
Yeah. I think we've just known each other.
Well, not according to the Bible, not the way we do it.
Like,
but
I think it's a theme in male relationships in general, from what I've seen, that there is a jokey, flirtatious element to a lot of male relationships. It's like a constant gay chicken of like...
Yeah, I thought you were going to say sex.
No, but like it's just what men are like sometimes, aren't it? Isn't it? I mean, we've never gone as far as one of our listeners that wrote in that on a stag do, just cocks.
It happens, though. It does happen.
It does happen.
It does happen.
I was listening to another pod recently where they had a listener write in and be like, we were on a stag do. I've ended up blowing my mate. He blew me. He's now getting really clingy. I don't know what to do.
Dicks just fly.
Yeah.
It's a sausage fest.
Yeah, but apparently it was initiated by one woman who was with them, who was like, wouldn't it all be funny if we all got drunk and started fooling around? And then when it got weird, she took herself out of the situation and the men just...
carried it. It's basically like Grindr on amphetamines, isn't it, stag do's?
Yeah, it seems that way.
A lot of horniness.
Do you reckon any of our mates doing stag do's?
Well, I mean, I'm a little offended that no one chose me.
I woke up holding the stag's hand one morning. That's about as close as I got.
Thankful it was the hand.
Yeah.
You'd have been holding a lot worse.
From what I've heard, I was quite keen on that stag do.
Yeah, you liked the red wig.
Yeah. Clearly got a thing.
Yeah, listen, we're all allowed things.
But yeah, that's. I want to try something else new.
Sure.
Overrated, underrated. I'm going to give you something.
Okay.
And I want us to live and die by this. So as soon as I tell you what it is, you've got to pick a stance on it and then stick to it. No backing down, no being like, oh, actually, you make a good point. You're going to be like, no, fuck this. This is what I believe.
I am ready to bat.
McDonald's.
Overrated.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
It's good. It's okay. But I think it's a bit too greasy. It's never quite as filling as you want it to be. the prices now are. I know
they're
the prices are going
increasing,
everywhere. But I know
but
I do know that, but
it was supposed to be like when it's getting closer to the price of like a fucking Five Guys, you're like, right, this is.
And they don't doesn't hold its heat very well in McDonald's.
And
it
they
gets
always get
cold
something
very
wrong.
quickly. Yeah, and also, why the fuck? I know it's because they don't clean them. But sort your fucking ice cream machines out, you sons of bitches. Why can I never get a fucking milkshake or a McFlurry? Because you motherfuckers can't be asked to clean the fucking tubes.
It's pretty disgusting, to be honest.
What do you think?
I tend to agree with you. The only thing I would say they have on their menu that's superior to other fast food chains, and I don't include Five Guy in this, I sort of put them in.
I've still never had a Five Guys.
You need to, bro. Like, it's expensive, don't get me wrong.
Not worth it.
But I think for the quality of what you get, it's 100% worth it.
What's your recommendation? Because you don't get like that. You have to pay for like fries separately, don't you?
Yeah,
fucking
it's one of
scum.
those. So like, you would have to get a fries, burger, and a drink all separately. But the milkshakes are phenomenal.
So go for a milkshake. That's your recommendation.
Definitely
Get
a milkshake. And literally, they're the same price whatever you get. So they've got all these options, flavours, bits to add to it. They used to do malt as well added to it, but they've taken that off the menu. That was a bit disappointing. But like, I normally get something like salted caramel, vanilla with Oreo pieces.
Okay.
And with whipped cream on the top, mate.
Nice.
It's
Nice.
naughty.
I like a whipped cream.
It's naughty. Their chips, bog standard ones are brilliant. Their Cajun ones are too salty for me.
Okay.
But even a small portion is enough for two people, their chips.
That's not true. One person.
From me, bro. Fair enough.
Come on.
But their burgers are fantastic. And again, they've got loads of stuff you can add to it, from fried onions, grilled.
Are they all onion
mushrooms.
based? Oh, no, okay.
No, there's loads of stuff. Peppers.
I thought you was going to be like
of cheese.
fried onions, grilled onions,
But it's
baked onions,
fully
raw
maxed.
onions.
You could have every topping that they offer on your burger,
For the same
and
price.
they would make it, and it would be the same price. And if you just get one thing on it,
Okay, I can go for that.
and their hot dogs are banging as well. They do an amazing.
I think I've
hot
got to go
dog.
burger, right? First time Five Guys.
Yeah,
I think.
and like the quality of the burger is far superior to anything you'd get in McDonald's. But yeah, the only thing I think McDonald's does that's better than the others, not including like Five Guys, is their fries.
They are good fries.
I think Burger
they
King
just don't
does
hold the
better
heat.
burgers. Like I had a giant Big Mac recently. It's like the double Big Mac. So, yeah. And it tastes nice, but like their burgers are always dry.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? There's like not a lot of flavour to them. I love a chicken nugget, love a chicken fillet.
I also do
but
love
I
a chicken
swear
nugget.
to God, I could murder
share
every
box.
loved one of a McDonald's worker who doesn't send me my fucking dips. It is the most disgusting thing you can do to a human being, in my opinion, is send them a McNugget share box without a single fucking dip. It's outrageous.
I mean, I'll still eat it, but I will not be happy. I will.
But yeah, I would say they're overrated. But the one thing I'd put in their favour is there's always a McDonald's available to you if you ever like in need
And they're
of
good
a
for
meal.
delivery and that. Like they're open all the.
You
There's
can
some
always get hold
24-hour
of a
ones. Yeah.
McDonald's. So like they've got that. But I would say in general, overrated.
Yeah, we're not. That's the thing. You're not asking whether they're good or bad.
No, just is it
Is the general
under-
consensus right?
or do we
Or is
believe?
it
Don't worry
liberal?
about what other people think, Jake. Other
I
than
don't.
whether they rate it or
I
not.
often don't.
But
And I say to our listeners, but it's a good one. I imagine I'll get a lot of
McDonald's
people. We'll get a lot of people writing in for that one.
yeah,
Macca's, mostly McDonald's corporate team.
Marks and Sparks,
Overrated.
particularly the food hall.
Overrated.
Why?
Again, it's okay.
Oh, Jake,
Like I just wouldn't.
no, you're just wrong.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
Like I worked for Marks and Spencer. It was my first ever job, and I should hate
Yeah,
them,
you always ate
really,
the cat. Like the.
because it was the first job, and they actually, I think I was 17 at the time. The wages were like good for the time, to be honest with you. And it was the first time I had money in my pocket. I got 20% discount at Marks and Spencer's, and I ate very, very well.
Yes.
And it started
as we
off
can all
my
see.
downward journey in terms of my upwards journey in terms of weight. But the food is phenomenal, man. Have you ever had their clotted cream rice pudding?
I don't think I have. No.
It'll
I've
make you
never
cream
had.
your knickers, mate. Honestly, you'd be frothing at your vagina.
To be honest, to be fair, it doesn't take a lot with food.
No, but honestly,
No,
top
but it's
quality.
good, but I don't know if it's. Again, it's one of the things. I think the people who took the horn the most of Marks and Spencers are Marks and Spencers.
Yeah,
I feel like they
but
kind of
they're
overdo
right,
it with their
though.
own promotion.
No, I think it's the best promotion ever. It's not just any food.
Yeah, it's
It's M&S food.
pretentious. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
but
It works.
like, if I had money,
It works.
I would
You'd
only
ever shop at
in
M&S.
M&S for food. Yeah, maybe dabble in Waitrose a little bit, but I've not really ever been in a Waitrose properly. Do you know what I mean?
No.
There's
I do know
none
what you
local
mean.
to hit.
At
I've popped
Coulsdon.
into one,
Coulsdon, I think, is the
grabbed a
nearest
drink or a
Waitrose.
sandwich or a cake or something. I've never like shopped at a
There's one at
Waitrose.
Sutton. No, I don't know. I don't think there is.
But no, mate, Marks and Spencer's food hall, when you're treating yourself to a fancy
It's nice.
ready meal or good sandwich, or
I don't know if it's...
they used to do raspberry yum-yums, man. Oh,
Yeah.
make
There's some
your
good
dick
stuff.
hard.
But like I said, I don't know if it's... I won't go.
Mate, shit's over anything from any other supermarket, I'm telling you. What, name a supermarket that does better food?
Okay, well, you break it down by section, but bakery, Lidl. For me, the Lidl bakery is just on another level.
It's hit and miss.
Yeah.
It's some stuff. I would
But
say
the
that
stuff
for
they
most supermarkets, their bakery section, you'll get the odd gem.
Not only
but
the stuff they hit, but the value of
But the
it
cookies
is phenomenal.
No, right, yeah. Value's sort of irrelevant. I'm talking about what's better.
No, but I like a Lidl's bakery.
Yeah. Oh no, they do a beautiful toffee yum yum. They're always sold out whenever I go to.
I
one.
quite like a lot of the Sainsbury's own range food as well.
Yes, they do a really nice curry.
I was about to say the curries.
I got into their like tikka masala, that sort of thing. It's
the
really,
butter chicken. I really love a butter
I'll have
chicken.
to give that one a go. Yeah.
Although the last time I had one, it was.
They also do a really nice giant Yorkshire pudding ready meal with sausage and mash and peas in it. That's really nice. So no, Sainsbury's food hall's good, but
but like I said, we're not saying whether something's good or bad. We're just saying.
Well, I couldn't
Rated or
disagree more.
underrated.
I think
It's good though.
I think an
disagreements.
M&S food hall is criminally
What
underrated.
disagreements? Go on, you got more.
The Premier League.
Overrated massively. The best league in the world in terms of excitement.
Yeah.
Championship.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I think and nowadays the money being thrown around in that league is sort of
Almost
on
as
par
good
with the
with the
Premier
bottom
League
half of the
years
Prem,
ago.
Yeah.
Like when we were first getting in, when I was first getting into football, like a £30 million transfer was like the ceiling for a world class player, maybe 35. But now in the Championship, it's not uncommon to see players go for that sort of money.
Or come in for that sort of money.
Yeah. So, I mean, like Ruben Neves came in at Wolves in the Championship not that long ago. It doesn't feel like for big money at the time. And it's only gone up from there. So, no, I think I'd agree with you. I mean, it might be quite a short one, actually. I just think in terms of...
The money's getting too silly.
I think it's one
the
of
money
those
to
things,
watch it's getting too
it's like
silly.
a self-feeding machine, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like they're driving the hype up for it to increase
and also,
but it's sort of...
the competitiveness of it, the gap at the top is getting even bigger and the teams
massively.
are pulling away from every other team.
Yeah.
So now, really, your chance of getting Champions League are just non-existent. The best you can hope
Unless
for
you've
is a
got a
Europa
nation
League
state
or a
only.
Conference League because you're just not going to get near Champions League. It's
Yeah.
not aspirational. Whereas in the Championship, and I mean, look at Luton.
Yeah.
Look at Palace. When we went up, we were like one of the favourites to go down.
Coventry didn't come up, but...
were like 20th or something, went on the run, managed to get to the playoff final. Like, I genuinely think it's the most competitive.
And West Brom were in the relegation zone halfway through the season with Steve Bruce in charge. They get a new manager and they nearly made the playoffs, but just missed out. It's a massive league. And quite often, whatever team's top at Christmas doesn't...
No, whereas in the Premier
doesn't
League,
win the league.
There's only a handful that have been top at Christmas and haven't won it. You could count on one hand.
Yeah, whereas in the Championship...
It's the opposite.
Honestly, until probably, March is probably when you'll start having a better idea.
April is moving month.
I know the last couple of years in the Championship, we've probably had... you've had Burnley, teams like Fulham that sort of, to a degree, walked it.
Yeah.
But, like, the rest of the league is still very much up for grabs.
And because you get 2 automatic promotion spots. So you still get... No,
and then the playoffs.
Absolutely. And the playoffs, I think, one of the most exciting things.
And honestly, I was watching a montage of Zaha this morning, and at the end of the clip was him getting taken down at Wembley to win the penalty that then took us up. And I remember watching that going, I actually think the playoffs means so much more than if you come first in the Championship. Like, I wouldn't trade.
You'll never get that day out.
Wembley,
No, you'll never get that day out.
Hugging a stranger when we got a penalty and then scored it. Like, man, I've never seen again. Don't even know his name. But one of the most special memories I've ever had. So, yeah, no, I would agree Championship is superior.
And it's
maybe not in terms of quality, but...
I know the Championship's heading that way, but it's also the money it costs to watch the Premier League. You've got to have, either at the ground, season tickets are like minimum 600-700 quid.
Yeah. How much are Palace charging now?
600,
Serious?
620,
when
650.
I stopped being a season ticket holder, it was about 450.
And they, to be fair,
400-ish.
they kept it down for a long time, as
Yeah,
long as
they
they
did.
could. But then it has jumped up as a result. But you've got to have, if you're sitting at home, you've got to have a subscription to Sky Sports, you've got to have a subscription to TNT, you've got to have a subscription to Amazon
BT,
Prime,
wasn't it?
you've got to have, or really a subscription to all of those three.
Yeah.
And even then, because
You're
of the
not gonna
stupid
get
3
every
o'clock
game.
rule, you're
You've
not
got to break the law and
it's-
watch on a VPN in another
so It's
country.
just bloody stupid. And I know the Championship's the same, but they're not on TNT. You'd only have to be on Sky to get the Championship games. Yeah, I'm not. I think the Premier League is overrated.
Yeah. Nando's. It's an easy one for
It's
me.
a tough one for me because I really like a Nando's, but I would have to say overrated.
Yeah. That's the only answer.
But just for the reason that people really make it a thing it's
I
not.
somehow, and I don't really know how it achieved it, it's made itself part of the British culture, hasn't it?
Cheeky
Like, it
Nando's.
is genuinely, and that might be the thing that solidified it really, was
Yeah, the cheeky
there was that
Nando's.
message about the Archbishop of Banterbury happened to have a meal voucher, and so we all went for a cheeky Nando's. That just solidified its place in British folklore somehow. And
But I do love a Nando's.
I remember we used to go a lot
I know
when we
you
were
don't,
younger
but I
because
do.
it was a cheaper option, and
It's
the
not
food's
now.
always nice. I haven't been in one since. Do you remember that what time years ago where we all went down at Valley Park?
Mm.
I'm talking years
Was
ago.
this the one where I had my hangry
no,
episode?
no, before that.
Oh, right. No, I
So it
don't.
was a long time. That's the last time I went in a Nando's.
Oh, I do remember. Was
I think people like,
Matt were there?
Yeah.
Matt said, yeah, I remember
yeah,
it. It was like Matt, Tony,
yeah.
me at one
I
end
think
of the
even
table.
like Cedric and Jamie were there.
But yeah, no, listen. It's so funny. I said when the last time I went for a Nando's would have been a good few months ago now,
Yeah.
and I went with Alex, and I was like, God, I haven't been for Nando's for. I mean, I love a
And I
Nando's,
imagine
but
it
I
was
haven't been
lovely.
for. And
I imagine it was
Al was
lovely.
like, it's right next to my work. I come here all the
Yeah.
fucking time.
But like you try and get in a Nando's at the weekend anywhere, it's just you're
Yeah,
going to
right, right.
struggle. But yeah, I think 100% overrated. It just sells fucking chicken. Now I know
It's
that sounds
different 'cause they
hypocritical
do it well, yeah,
because I
'cause
love
KFC.
KFC, but that's different gravy.
I love all the knockoffs as well. I love their gravy.
yeah.
No,
What,
I love all the
KFC
knockoffs.
gravy.
All the yeah.
Oh mate, if they bottled it,
I'd buy it.
of
I'd buy it.
course, I'd have it with everything. There'd be
Yeah.
very few things I didn't have
I would-
KFC gravy.
I
for,
would go into an overdraft every month
just to get your gravy in.
just to get gravy on
Yeah,
all my
no, I
meals.
couldn't agree more.
I
My
absolutely
sister
would.
tried it and I think she said it was shit, and I was like, honestly, I could disown
Well,
you off of that alone.
she's an idiot, isn't she?
Yeah.
I've been a big sport for your sister for a long time, but that could just sway it against
yeah,
her.
it's a deal breaker, really, isn't it?
There's a lot I wanted to ask her when we do get her on. That's just gone to the top of the list.
Yeah. Why don't you like KFC
Yeah, what's wrong with
gravy?
you? Are you broken?
I think she just thinks it's gross, and I'm like, you're gross.
Oh, yeah, she's gross.
yeah. She'll love this, Shannon.
It's always food. It's always food that gets us the most passionate.
Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes. Now,
Yeah.
I would say underrated because I think a lot of the
Really? I'm
I th-
surprised to hear you say
I think
that.
a lot of the generation that follow it now, the kind of kids coming through, they
What do you
kind
think
of,
about?
to use a young people's term, they kind of sleep on that, you know,
Yeah.
that 90s, early noughties
Like, they wouldn't know
era.
who a Michael Carrick
Like-
is. They just say he's Middlesbrough's
You
manager.
know, Skulls, definitely when we were growing up, overrated.
Mate.
Like he was good, but he was, you know, particularly because there were so many United fans around, and it was like, oh, fucking Skulls, he's the best and whatever. And it's like, mate, he's a good player. Let's not overhype
Better
it.
than Gerrard and Lampard, without a doubt.
I don't know. They
Won
all
more
they all
titles
did
than both of
different.
them.
They all did. Yeah, but he was in a better team and a more consistent
his
team.
fault.
It had a better manager.
From a young age, he made it in the best team in the
but
world.
I just think they played different games. The easiest one to compare is Gerald and Lampard played similar, but
Look, and I'm being a bit hyperbolic
you are.
to sort of rile people up. I'm doing the talk sport a little bit, and I love the people of Liverpool in general, but I'm gonna upset them right now. Paul Scholes wins titles. Gerrard falls over when it's his chance.
what do you think?
I think he's underrated in every sense of the word.
I think, like,
during his
now-
pomp, I think, and I think we've talked about it before. Like England suffered with having managers that were too afraid of picking a system, and then the players that fit that system, he just tried to force. Like Paul Scholes ended up playing on the left wing.
Yeah, we tried to push
It's
free
fucking
centre, free
insane.
centre mid into
He's
two
not.
positions.
He's not a left winger, and like neither were the other two. So I'm
No.
not saying they should have been put, but we should have had a system where it was like Paul Scholes sitting at the base of the
No,
midfield.
and Lampard. I know Gerrard ended up taking the role, but there were games where really, because Gerrard was kind of the better at playing a bit deeper, Lampard a bit further forward. But there were games where Lampard was playing as like a holding mid, and it's like,
And
what
it
the
just
fuck
didn't
are we doing? Why
yeah.
are we doing this to ourselves? But I do think people look back. Some of the kids now they look at the likes of Mbappe and the likes of sort of Kroos and Modric. Even though Modric's at the end of his career, and they're like,
I don't know.
Paul Scholes could never, David Beckham could never. And it's like, no, man, these guys were good.
I think Mbappe's overrated.
It's not on your list.
No, it's not.
No.
It's just you mentioned him, and I'm like, I think he's overrated.
He has.
Don't get me
become that
wrong.
way.
He's one of the best
way.
players in the world, but I think he's overrated. Like he scores incredible goals, plays very well, but like he's overrated. Like he hasn't led PSG to anything incredible. He doesn't feel like it shows up. He shows up on the big occasions. I think Wan-Bissaka's had him in his pocket, which Wan-Bissaka's one of the best right backs in the world.
Yeah.
So, but still, I just think he's overrated.
No, cool.
Road trips.
Road trips, underrated, man.
Couldn't agree
I
more.
love a road trip.
It doesn't matter who
Half
you're
the time,
with
the
either.
journey's the fun of it.
Like I don't like. I remember my childhood memories. Loads of road trips with my parents. It didn't matter whether you were bored or whatever. You just look back at them fondly. I've had amazing road trips with you and Ash, and like going to Newcastle to go and watch Foo Fighters, or going with Ash to go to Lindsay's, or whatever it might be.
No, when we went to Newcastle, I must admit it was one of them things where Al got the train.
Yeah, and
And
I was like,
no, but you're missing out on
man.
half
Like,
the fun. Yeah,
yeah, you're just being a cheap wanker. Do you know what I
Like,
mean?
you're just missing out on half the fun. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
longer and whatever, but
And it's an earlier start and all of that. But yeah, it's like that was the bit I think we were like obviously looking forward to seeing the Foo Fighters, but it was like an 8-hour road trip. Yeah, all right, I'm all right with that.
yeah, there were stops and stuff. Yeah, that was good fun.
Yeah. Like I would love a road trip around Europe and stuff like that. I think all of that's awesome.
Highly recommend the little bits that I've done.
Home bargains.
Home bargains, the shop.
Oh, have you never been in a home bargain?
No, I have. I just wanted to make sure that
What else? What other type of home bargains? Are there?
bargains for the home.
No, it's Omen Bargains if you're in Liverpool.
Home bargains. I think underrated. You can
Yeah.
get some absolute great little things in there.
We made the right decision, bro. We'd have had real fallings out. Me and my family go on road trips to go to a home bargain.
That's
Because until recently there wasn't one close enough that
a little bit
we
weird.
could go to. There's now one in Wimbledon, so we go to the Wimbledon home bargains.
But yeah, you can get some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I like? And it's a bit of a tangent. Do you know them little like everything shop that pop up?
Yeah.
Like every town's got an everything shop.
Like not a pound shop, but it's a cheap shop, and they.
It's
sort
a
of
cheap
stock
shop
it
and
of
stuff.
everything.
Yeah, right. The stuff is cheap quality kind of
You
thing.
can
But
get
you can just
anything
get
from
anything.
a dustpan and brush to a duvet.
It's
You know
sort of
what I
like
mean?
taking the middle aisle of Lidl and then turning it into a whole shop.
That is a very. I haven't been in the Lidl for a while, and I went in recently, and I found so much stuff I wanted down the middle aisle. Like there was a slushy machine that was 50 quid.
Excellent.
Honestly, stood there for longer than I should
Contemplating
have.
it. Properly
I couldn't
contemplating
do it. I was like 50. But
It's not justifiable.
and also, I was looking. I was going. I'd want a proper one, not
a mini one.
they sell in a shop that does like 2 cups. I want like a shop one that I can have.
Said
on the
to you
go
before,
on a
haven't I?
summer's day.
If I were to win the lottery,
A slushy
apart
machine.
from not a sussy machine,
Mr. Whippy.
a Mr. Whippy and the donut thing from Brighton, like do you know on the pier.
Oh, what
Do you know
they
them,
like
the little
conveyor
donut
belt
machines?
things?
Yeah, the oil
Oh,
conveyor belts. 100%.
gets me harder
I'd be
than
getting a
watching
big
those
house
donuts and
and
the
I'd be
smell.
getting one of them and a Mr. Whippy, and I would just be living my fat dreams.
Yeah, it'd be amazing. And then working out the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, I would have to do a lot of compensating.
Yeah. Right, so we both got, some of these haven't been as divisive as I'd like. Boris Johnson.
Overrated.
I would argue, Jake, and I never thought I'd say this, he might be underrated
Please do.
because he went from, humble beginnings.
Yes.
He then became Mayor of London, a very esteemed career. He took the Conservatives to a general election victory we haven't seen since before the war, and then managed to screw it up to such a level
It's
that
impressive.
we've never seen.
I would say he was over. I would say the people who have overrated him there were the voting public. On each occasion, they've overrated his ability.
That's the thing, isn't it? I just thought it'd be a funny one to bring up.
No, it's good.
Anything?
Remember though that you said these are the hills we've got to die on.
What?
So remember that. So you've got to die on that hill now. That is, you've got to die on the hill that Boris Johnson is underrated.
I just don't think he gets enough credit for how incredibly bad a job he did. I think is the point.
I would agree on that.
I think we should award him in some way, like give him a nice cell to live in for the rest of his life.
3 meals a day.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Just a nice, steady existence behind bars.
Early retirement, we'll call it.
Yeah, I think that's a nice way to put it.
Get himself a little
In
hobby.
a little white collar one, I don't mind that.
Little reading,
You
do
know,
a
he
bit
can
of farming.
play tennis with his mates, I don't mind, you know, but he never gets to walk free again. And have you heard about, I mentioned to you before about the young lady that was being elected or risen into the House of Lords? And
Charlotte Owens, is it?
Oh, I wasn't actually going to name her.
Ah, fuck it, I will.
Allegedly, she's
you
his
can believe
daughter.
it. Oh, really?
I thought the allegedness was he'd been banging her, which felt like the more lot. But apparently, there's a rumor.
In all honesty,
She might be one
in
of
my
his
opinion of
children.
Boris Johnson, could be
Very
both.
possible.
Could be both.
Yeah. Maybe it's his illegitimate child with Nadine.
Even if he sees his own features in her, that'll probably be more of a turn on for him.
Oh, he looks so beautiful, just like me.
The closest he can get to fucking himself.
Jesus. Oh, I think that's as good a place as any to call it a pod.
That's
How
cool.
did you
I'm
feel
gonna
about
put
the
it on.
overrated, underrated?
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
it just felt a little bit different.
I'd happily do a whole episode on it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
maybe we can do that at some. Well, maybe we could do a half and half. We were going to do
Agree,
the food
disagree.
one, and then do some overrated,
Overrated,
underrated. So anybody, if they want to join in on that, if they want us to tell you what we think about something, you want to know what we think about.
Whether we think it's overrated or underrated,
Yeah,
if we agree
that
or
was a
disagree,
very
whether
long-winded
you've got
way
an
of me
opinion.
saying what I was trying to say. But send it in.
Where should they send it?
They should send it to. We have an email address, and that's CrossingSwords19@gmail.com. We are on Facebook at Crossing Swords. We're on TikTok and Insta at CrossingSwords_podcast. And we're on Twitter at Swords Crossing.
Any of those?
Any of those. And it will be on the screen multiple times, sexily, right by our
Tell us
faces.
Who, on the ones we disagreed with, who was right, who was wrong, on the
Yeah.
underrated, overrated. On the ones we agreed with, tell us if you agree.
Tell me if you think Boris Johnson's underrated.
Tell me if you think the one I think we would get most kickback from is the Maccas.
What, saying it's overrated?
Yeah,
I think you'd be surprised.
I think we argued it well,
Yeah.
but I don't know. There could be some kickback.
Yeah. But I think we gave him
We've
their
just
due.
lost. What we've done is we've just lost a potential big corporate backing sponsor.
There was no way
No,
on
no, no.
God's green
There
earth.
was-
We talk
there's
about
not-
Boris Johnson puppeting Nadine Dorries and her being too grubby even for him. And we talk about you touching children.
No, you talk about me touching children, and quite frankly, it's weird you're obsessed with it. It's like you got some kind of fantasy or something.
It's just,
There's
don't
no way that they would have. There's a very small chance.
know. No, I mean, did you ever hear the really famous one? They started supporting, have you heard of Tom Segura?
Yeah.
He has a podcast called Your Mum's House, and it's quite out there, over the top. They watch really weird videos. They have some really good guests on. It's quite a decent podcast. But they got sponsored for $2 million by McDonald's. Tom immediately went out and bought a Lambo. And McDonald's can't have watched any of their stuff because the first episode they sponsored, they must have watched it and then they asked for their money back.
And that is why
Yeah.
you put the money in the bank and sit on it for a while.
Yeah.
Because you never know who's going
But
to
I
sue you or
can't,
ask for their
like,
money
McDonald's amazingly supports stuff like the Olympics and things like that. I don't know.
back. It's one of the most ironic sponsorships ever.
Yeah. It's why
We
they
should-
introduced fruit bags.
That's what I want to know from people. What is the most ironic spot? If I was on a radio show right now, I would dedicate the next hour to what is the most ironic sponsorship of all time that you've ever seen.
Yeah. It's got to be
And
one
I
of
would
them.
I would have to say McDonald's sponsoring the Olympics is right up there.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, see you soon, guys.
I'm hungry now.
Me too, actually. Might get a Chinese.
Macca's.
Somebody order a Chinese?
Somebody order a Chinese. No, I know what we should have. Cheeky Nando's.
Nah, on your own.
Happily.